Okay, let's talk about coffee. For so many of us, it is an absolutely essential part of the morning. But when it comes to its effect on our blood sugar, the advice out there is, well, it's all over the place. Is it good? Is it bad? In this explainer, we are going to get to the bottom of it.
Because here's the thing, the central puzzle we're going to unpack today. What if the answer isn't just good or bad? What if your daily cup is doing both of those things at the same time, just on completely different timelines? I know, it sounds kind of contradictory, but the science behind it is absolutely fascinating.
So, to really get a handle on this, we need to look at the actual data. We're going to put the two kind of conflicting sides of the coffee story right up against each other, using the hard numbers from the research.
And this right here, this is the core of the paradox. The secret isn't really the coffee itself, but the time frame we're looking at. You've got the acute effect, what happens in the few hours right after you drink a cup, and then you've got the chronic effect, what happens over years and years of drinking it. Two totally different stories.
Okay, first, let's look at that acute effect. Within just a few hours of drinking a single cup of coffee, a lot of people, especially if they're a bit insulin resistant, will see an immediate blood sugar spike. We're talking about 8 to 10%. That's the short-term hit. But now, let's zoom way, way out. Look at the long-term picture. Decades of research have shown that people who drink coffee regularly over the long haul have up to a 25% lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes. So a short-term spike for a huge long-term gain. How is that even possible?
To understand this, we first have to break down why coffee causes that immediate spike in the first place. And it all comes down to its most famous ingredient, caffeine.
So here's what's going on inside your body. Caffeine basically launches this little three-part plan that temporarily jacks up your blood sugar. First, it messes with how your body signals for insulin. Second, it triggers a little adrenaline rush, which tells your liver, hey, release some sugar. And third, it actually makes it harder for your muscles to soak up all that extra sugar floating around.
And look, this isn't just a theory, there is hard data. A study from the journal Diabetes Care confirmed this. They found that in people who already have type 2 diabetes, caffeine boosted their post-meal glucose by 21% and their all-day glucose by 8%. So yeah, that short-term spike is very, very real.
But that is only half the story, right? Let's flip over to the other side of this paradox and see how this very same drink builds this kind of protective shield over the long run.
You see, the hero of the long-term story isn't the caffeine at all. It's compounds like these, chlorogenic acids. Coffee is just packed with these amazing antioxidants. And over months and years, they're working in the background, improving how your body handles glucose, fighting inflammation, and actually making you more sensitive to insulin. So while caffeine is causing a little short-term trouble, these guys are playing the long game for a long-term fix. And this chart just shows you how powerful that long-term effect really is. It's what we call a dose-dependent relationship. So 1 cup a day, that's good. Gets you about a 6% risk reduction. But the benefits just keep stacking up. When you hit that sweet spot of 3 to 4 cups a day, that's where you see that incredible 25% drop in diabetes risk.
So, okay, we've got this short-term spike and this awesome long-term benefit. The big question is, can we have our cake and eat it too? Can we get the benefit while minimizing the harm? Well, the answer is yes, and it all comes down to timing.
Here's the key thing you gotta understand. The moment you wake up, your body naturally releases a stress hormone called cortisol. Its job is to raise your blood sugar to give you energy to start the day. Now, if you immediately pour caffeine on top of that, on an empty stomach, you get what's called a double hit. You've got cortisol and caffeine both pushing your blood sugar up, creating this massive, unnecessary spike.
So, let's build the perfect coffee routine based on that science. Number 1, wait. Wait about an hour, maybe 90 minutes, after you wake up before you have that first cup. Let your cortisol do its thing and start to come down. 2, and this one is so important, have your coffee with or after your breakfast, never before. The food acts like a buffer. And 3, try to cut yourself off from caffeine by 2 or 3 in the afternoon. This protects your sleep, and good sleep is absolutely critical for your blood sugar the next day.
Now, we've talked about some general rules that apply to most people, but we have to get personal now, because how you respond to coffee is literally written in your DNA.
This is so fascinating. There's a gene called CYP1A2, and it basically controls how fast your liver can break down caffeine. And it turns out the population is split right down the middle, about 50-50. You're either a fast metabolizer who can clear caffeine in just a few hours, or you're a slow metabolizer where that same caffeine can hang around for 8 hours or even longer, just extending its effect on your blood sugar.
So how do you know which one you are? Well, you can get a pretty good idea just by listening to your body. If having coffee in the afternoon completely wrecks your sleep, or if just one cup makes you feel anxious and jittery, or you just feel those effects for a really, really long time, chances are you're a slow metabolizer. And that means you have to be extra careful with your timing and how much you drink.
Okay, let's pull all of this together. Let's put it into a final, simple action plan so you can truly master your own coffee routine.
Here are the key takeaways. First, drink it black. All those sugars and syrups are just adding another glucose hit right on top of the caffeine effect. Second, be consistent. Your body can actually build a tolerance to caffeine's acute effects over a few weeks, which helps lessen those daily spikes. Third, hey, if you're really sensitive, decaf is an amazing option. You still get most of those beneficial chlorogenic acids, just without the caffeine spike. And that brings us to the final and honestly the most important habit of all.
Because here's the bottom line. The only way to know for sure how coffee and timing and food affects you is to test it. We are all different. Using something like a continuous glucose monitor, a CGM, can give you that direct, personal feedback in real time.
And if you're interested in going deeper on this kind of personalized health tracking and getting insights that are tailored specifically to your body, you can learn a lot more at health.gheware.com.
So you see, the coffee paradox, it's not really a contradiction. It's a system, and it has rules. And now that you know those rules about timing, about genetics, about consistency, you have the power to make coffee work for your health, not against it. The only question left is, are you ready to master your morning